Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today, the topic of discussion is what I've been reading this week. So, we didn't do a weekly wrap-up last week because I was in the new dad zone. I'm still in the new dad zone and will be for a long time, like 18 years or whatever. But last week, I was basically, the whole week I was just reading the last 100 pages of Fires of Heaven whenever I had time to sit down and read. But once I finished reading Fires of Heaven, I started reading another book. But before we get to that, actually, let's talk about, weekly recap. If you have not watched these videos before, basically what I go through is the books that I have been reading, the books that I'm planning to read next, anything I've finished, anything I'm going to start, then kind of the videos that I've made in the last week, and then the videos that are going to go up next week. So I have a really weird and annoying cough at the moment, so my voice sounds a bit weird, but we're going to move on, and we're going to try and make this video not be super long so that you guys don't have to listen to my voice in this weird state for super long time. First thing that I read in the last week, and I just finished this today, but it was Shadow of Hyperion by J.C. Byrne. So full review for this will be out next week, but I have to say I loved this book. I think that this is definitely my favourite of the Hybrid Helix books. I think that J.C. Byrne is capitalising on all the lore and all the story threads and all the world building that he's done over the last 3 books to give us a true belter of a book in this one. It is a kind of superhero, sci-fi, science fantasy sort of story. We have something that you get in comics actually, but you don't get in really any other stories, which is a mix of magic and sci-fi. Well, actually, you get that in other stories, but often not explicitly this is magic. You get because of the X science thing, now they can do Y thing that looks like magic. Anyway, so really cool mix of science and some magical, mystical sort of shenanigans. Some really good connections to the other book, kind of tangential to the Hybrid Helix, Partial Function, that I recently read and enjoyed as well. But I have to say, I do like the characters better in Hybrid Helix, like Wei Li and obviously Rohan and Ben and Marion Stone, and then a lot of the heroes on Earth. This book is really good because it gives you both settings. So in book 1 it's all set on Wistful, and then in book 2 it's set on Earth, and then book 3 is back on Wistful, whereas this one is both. It's you spend time on Earth, you spend time on Wistful, you spend time on some other places. So really enjoyed this one. I could probably gush about this for a long time, and I'm going to do that in my review, so keep tuned to the channel. Next up after that, so because Shadow of Hyperion actually doesn't have a audiobook, because it's indie published, self-published book, I had some audiobook time at the beginning of the week, and I used that to get into The Will of the Many by James Islington. I took the book jacket off of this, and it's in my bookshelf, but I am too tired and lazy to get it out. So you're looking at the lovely naked hardcover. I like this bronze on the edge, the bronze print for The Will of the Many. Really enjoy that. And this is by James Islington. It is the first book in his Hierarchy series, which I believe is a trilogy of 3 books. I'm only 60 pages in, but just been reading it actually while I eat dinner and really enjoying this one. I feel like this is going to be a book I'm a big fan of, based on loads of people that I know who love this book. So Mare loves this book, Ross loves this book. So looking forward to reading more of it. Not very far in at the moment. Do already quite like the main character, which is a really good start. The world and the world building in and of itself is minimal so far, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes, to understanding the whole will thing, and what's up with that. So if I do manage to finish Will of the Many this week, I will be moving on to something shorter and something sci-fi. So I have got here on my other Kindle, I'll hold it close to the camera, Tales at the Sun Eater volume. Oh, it's not focusing whatsoever. Focus. Okay. Tales of the Sun Eater volume 2 by Christopher Rocchio. So this is the second set of short stories in the Sun Eater universe. The previous set of short stories I read literally in a day, just like around things I was doing, because there's like an audio version as well. And if I look at this one, in fact, let's have a look. In the book info, it usually tells you the average read time for the book. And here it's 3 hours. So yeah, I'm expecting to read this one fairly quickly. And I did choose this because I wanted to switch from The Will of the Many, it's just fantasy, into a much shorter sci-fi book. So I picked Tales of the Sun Eater because I would like to advance in Sun Eater. My next book is Kingdoms of Death. I'm looking at it on the shelf right now. I've already got a copy. So yeah, looking forward to carrying on with Sun Eater stuff. And I really enjoyed the last short story collection, so looking forward to this one. After I read that Tales of the Sun Eater, I will be delving into some SPFBO books. I haven't decided yet which ones I'm going to read first. My plan currently is to read the first chapter of all of the books that I've been assigned, and then talk to you guys about them in a video, and then make a kind of ordered ranking basically of those books. And it'll be ones where I'm going to be thinking like, right, is this up my alley? Am I going to like this? Do I want to finish the whole book? And that sort of thing. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into the SPFBO stuff. Basically, some weird months have... I did get assigned the books in kind of like a week or two ago, mid-May, and then just really didn't have... I had like loads of other books on the go, and I'd already promised to you guys, viewers, that I would be reading Will of the Many. So and a lot of people are really invested in this book, so I was like, no, I'm going to read Will of the Many, then I'm going to read something short and sci-fi, and then I'm going to go straight into SPFBO. And it may be that I end up reading all the SPFBO books back to back, but because I don't have to actually read all of them, I only have to read like a decent chunk of each one to know whether it's going to be one that I would recommend to Philip as a finalist or not. So that's kind of how it works out. Video stuff. So this week I put out today, so I'm recording this a day early. Normally I record on Friday mornings, but tomorrow I'm taking my son swimming. So today you've got slightly tired and becolded me. So yeah, this week I have put out the Wandering In video. We also had the Wildest Dreams tag, because I was tagged by my friend Rebecca Nicole from the channel Reading with Rebecca Nicole. That was a really fun video to film, and a lot of fun comments on that one as well. So if you haven't watched that, give it a watch and drop down in the comments and let me know what you would do with your wildest dreams. I also put out the Fires of Heaven review this week. And then after that, I put out another video that I had previously filmed before Baby arrived. But you know what? I actually can't remember which one it was, because I did film it quite a while ago. No idea. I'll look it up. I've got my tablet right here. We can actually get answers for ourselves. We don't need to try and remember them. You don't need your own brain when you have one that Samsung has made for you. So what have we got? What was it this week? Oh, I did my monthly wrap up, and that actually wasn't a pre-baby video. So I have a couple of pre-baby videos that haven't gone out yet. But I think I'm saving both of them for specific slots in the schedule. But anyway, so next week's videos will be Monday, I believe, is going to be the Shadow of Hyperion review. And then on Tuesday, I have another tag video that I was tagged in the library tag by my friend Farah from Bookstalgic. And I would like to make that tag because I really love my local library. So I was planning on filming that after this, but my voice is really dying on me. So I might wait until next week to see if my voice was recovered by then. But so that will be that next week, the library tag. I filmed a video with Ross and Laura just before the baby, literally the day the baby came. The night after I filmed it, I went to bed, and that was in the middle of the night when my wife woke up and was like, oh, we're having a baby. So that's pretty fun. And I had been planning it with Ross and Laura for ages, and we'd actually delayed filming it a couple of times. So it was really cool to get that done. And it's a pretty decently sized edit job. It's like an hour-long video with not too many cuts, but a lot of like overlays and stuff. So it's taking me, I've probably spent like an hour on editing it already, and it's probably going to take even longer. So hopefully I'll have time to finish it and put it out next week. But I don't know how much time I'm going to get because you never know when the baby's mood is going to change from chilled, sleeping all the time to crying all the time, which was the case with our first child. Moving on. So yeah, I've got those 3 videos next week. There will be more Wandering In episodes. I'm hoping to get some extra Wandering In stuff filmed over June, because as I've said, it's been my ambition to finish volume 1 in June. So looking forward to doing that, hoping to do that. What else? Yeah, there's a load of fun stuff coming down on the horizon. And Matt and I have actually just talked about doing our Fires of Heaven spoiler cast. So we're hoping to do that next week, and really looking forward to talking Fires of Heaven with Matt. I want to know what he thinks about the menagerie stuff. We haven't really talked too much during the read of this one. We just talked about like how much we're enjoying it. So it'll be fun to see what he thinks about it. After all of that stuff, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do a book haul anytime in the near future because I'm not buying all that many books, apart from this one book that I did buy. And I talked about it in another video, but I picked up a second-hand copy of The First Binding by R. Verdi. It's a bit bashed, like the dust jacket is a little bashed up, but I think it'll look okay on the shelf at TBH with a little bit of flatten. I'll put it like in between a couple of books and see if it flattens out. And I wanted a copy of the hardcover because I was thinking to myself, well, if the dust jacket's in a bit roughneck, I can just take it off, and then I've got that nice edge there, and I can put that on the shelf next to, and I can take the dust jacket off of the sequel book if I want to buy the sequel book when it comes out in a hardcover, which was kind of the reason why I picked up this hardcover version. It's not in my library system. So I just took a punt on a second-hand copy. This was only £4.80, I think, which for like a book that came out last year or the year before or whatever, and is like was 20 odd quid on release, I felt pretty good about. Seeing as I ended up paying £15 for Will of the Many, I think, and like that came out last year as well. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. 2 things sold me on reading this book. So number 1, Mare absolutely loves it and raves about it and says that she thinks it's better than Name of the Wind, which a lot of people say it's a pretty shameless copy of. But I'm not super bothered if people are going to do shameless copies or like heavily inspired by first books in series, because, you know, Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings, and The Bound and the Broken, Wheel of Time. And both of those series are really high on my personal best series of all time lists, so I can't really say anything. And also, I noticed that, apart from Petrick being quoted on the back, Richard Swan, author of my mostly beloved Empire of the Wolf trilogy, says that this is a fantastic book, and that was enough to really interest me. So yeah, want to read this one. We'll probably get to this in the first month after I finish SPFBO stuff. I also need to read Lord of Chaos this month, probably. We'll see how Matt is situated for Wheel of Time stuff. But that's everything. So I'm going to get back to reading The Will of the Many. Although I will need to, maybe I'll edit this video tomorrow. It's pretty late. I'm tired. Yeah, I think I will either edit this soon or tomorrow, and you'll be watching it on time. It'll be out on time, I think. But I'm going to get back to reading The Will of the Many because I'm having a really, really good time reading it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I said I'd make it short, and then it was 16 minutes. But thanks so much for watching. If you have liked this video, please give it a like. If you would like to chat to me about any of the books that I talk about in this video, or you would like to tell me what you've been up to this week, what you're going to be reading next, what you've been reading this week, then please drop down in the comments. I'd love to see what everyone's reading, and maybe we can join in together and read some stuff together. And of course, if you are not subscribed right now, I'm not sure why you're watching this video, because it's pretty like one-on-one chat between me and people who watch a lot of my videos. But if you would like to subscribe, I would love to have you as we get closer and closer to maybe YouTube possibly paying me some money for all of this cool content that I'm making. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.